If you want to stay up to date with all current hip hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. Another artist besides like J. Cole, Drake, Travis Scott that we're still waiting for to drop this year is of course Kendrick Lamar. And this is someone who I've talked about a lot on stream and like in the comments on my Discord, but I've never really touched a lot on in my videos, and that is because he's just been so quiet over the past couple of years. I mean, his last release was 2017's Damn, and since then, of course, in 2018 we had the Black Panther soundtrack, which he was featured on and kind of helped curate, and since then he's had a couple of features. We've seen him, for example, on Busta Rhymes' Look Over Your Shoulder, or on J. Cole's and Dreamville's Under the Sun, but he hasn't released any solo project since. He's also someone who's very good at controlling leaks and kind of having his own stuff where he wants it to be, you know, kind of the opposite of a lot of these new artists that kind of thrive off of the leaks and the hype that's building around these leaks. And we all know Kendrick is someone who cares about his legacy a lot. So today I wanted to talk about what I expect from his new album, when I think we will get something new from the GOAT Kendrick Lamar himself, and kind of what he can do with his next record. So, as I said, it's been 4 years now since he dropped something. In that meantime, of course, there were a lot of speculations about his next project. He has to live up to a lot of like heavy weight and a really heavy discography that he's left so far. I mean, Good Kid, Mad City, his sophomore studio album, is still regarded as one of the best storytelling albums in modern hip hop, and definitely one of the best records of the 2010s. Then 2015, we had To Pimp a Butterfly, a socially super important record that is undeniably probably the best record of the last 10 years. So he has a very infamous reputation for being able to create masterpieces. So whatever he decides to drop next has to live up to that expectation. And it's kind of become a household saying. For example, I say this too when people say, of course, Young Thug wasn't trying to go crazy with Slam Language 2. I reply with like, yeah, I'm not expecting a To Pimp a Butterfly, but blah, blah, blah. So To Pimp a Butterfly has really set that standard for a conceptually concise and to the point album that is in its message yet important, but musically also pushing and kind of experimental. So judging from that, if that is what people are Kendrick fans for, if people see him as this kind of culture, art, pioneer that's always there to provide something great for the culture, then of course there's a lot of pressure and a lot of hype around his next project. As I said, we've seen a lot of speculations. TDE's Punch has announced multiple times that there might be a new Kendrick record coming soon. One of the rumors that is out there is that he's dropping a rock album, which I think is super exciting because that mixture, that kind of hybrid between hip-hop and rock is something that I think will dominate a lot of the future, not in terms of popular music, but in terms of like what the core music culture will drive forward as like, you know, the new innovative stuff. And if Kendrick Lamar decides to do something with this concept, I think this could be great. I also have great trust in Kendrick that he would be able to take elements from rock and kind of, you know, use them in a way that will still make them important to hip hop while not sacrificing the core elements and core aspects of hip hop. We've seen people like Lil Wayne do this on I'm Not a Human Being, for example, and do this quite successfully, actually, but he's always been more of not a too experimental guy, but rather just I'm going to make a rock record because I like it. I think if Kendrick really sat down and was like, I really want to push music, push this, you know, this one side of culture forward with this record, he would be able to do this. Also because a lot of people look up to him as someone who would be able to do this. So his choices in making this record will dictate a lot of what we're going to see in hip hop in the future. Now, Kendrick is also someone very well connected, not just in hip hop, but just in music in general, in, kind of popular culture in general. He has had conversations with Rick Rubin, so, he would have someone by his side, making a great rock album. Mike Dean would also be there to help. So I really don't doubt that Kendrick would be in a position to drop something truly, in the likes of To Pimp a Butterfly. Kendrick is someone who, of course, is very quiet on social media. I, said earlier that Punch, who is a record executive at TDE, is always the one kind of giving us all the infos and all the kind of little hints at new Kendrick music, just because Kendrick is just non-existent on social media. I think the last we've heard from him publicly was when he was out in the streets marching for a Black Lives Matter protest, like almost a year ago. So he keeps himself a lot of the times and is very not out there in public. But I think this is also something that allows him to really focus on what he wants to do and not what other people want him to do. And Kendrick is in a position where he kind of decides where the music is gonna go. Other people can't dictate him, oh, we want this from him, because he dictates what the people want from him. And that is a very important factor for Kendrick. He's experimental, but still innovative and influential at the same time. And that's why a rock album from him would also be amazing. I think whatever Kendrick decides to come out with, whether it'll be a rock album or also maybe just a true to his core hip-hop base, a hip-hop album, he is gonna, kind of pave the way for a lot of other stuff, a lot of new sounds, a lot of new artists coming in the future with this new record that he decides to drop, and the importance of this new record will be, kind of visible even for years to come. So I'm excited for whatever Kendrick has in store for us. If you want to keep up to date with anything that we might get Kendrick related, I would not recommend following him because he would likely only announce like official release dates, but TD's Punch is always there to drop a little sprinkles of hints here and there throughout the year. And I still think we're going to get something this year, probably during the summer. It's just been so long that it would make sense for him to drop this year. We have a lot of A-tier artists dropping this year, and that's why I think Kendrick could also be one of them. Over the summer, as I said, June, July, August maybe. But I think Kendrick is very confident in what he's doing, and time will tell how amazing this project will actually end up being. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Are you excited for a new Kendrick Lamar album? Do you like the idea of him making a rock album, or do you want him to stay more true to his hip-hop core? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.